Hey, my name's Mark Fletcher. I'm the owner of Tower Systems. We've got Justin Randall here who handles sales for us in Queensland, Northern Territory and Western Australia.
Correct. Yep.
You've been with the company now for
I think about six years now, actually. Yeah.
So 3 years.
So
You came from a technical background. You were busy installing the software and training people on how to use the software, and then you moved from that into a sales role. So you're not a traditional salesperson, but we're here today to talk about Pet Shop software.
Yep.
And to talk about that in the context of us being a specialty software company, in the sense that, we're not selling just off-the-shelf software that you might put into a cafe or a bakery or something like that. This is software made for pet shops.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's the number one question I get a lot. Actually, is what differentiates you between other providers? I guess. Point of sale software. Most of them these days will, tell you what's selling, what's not selling. It'll tell you, how much you've made for the week, the month, the year. But I guess people these days, they really, well, certainly owners of businesses, they want something that automates a lot of the process. And with that, takes away thinking at the counter. And the way we do that with the pet industry is multiple things, which I'll touch on in a sec. But a couple that stand out are stock notes. So with stock notes, multiple ways to use it. There's care instructions when you're selling specific products. There's if you want to pass on that the product is locally made or locally sourced. And also too, another way is through promotions. And the main one in the pet industry is multi-buys. So suppliers like Royal Canine and Advanced Dog Food, they'll occasionally do, buy 10 dog food bags and you'll receive the 11th free. So the system can automate that. It takes away the cardboard cards that the customer has to hold. So no more clipping cards or stamping cards. It's all, the system will actually tell you on receipt as well as at the point of sale.
So if I can jump in there though, let's say I'm a traditional pet shop, suburban pet shop, really looking after suburban type pets, whether it's birds or cats or dogs.
Yep.
But then I might know somebody who's in a different sort of pet shop, might be in a more exotic category where they're selling more exotic pets. Is this software covering both sorts of needs?
Yeah, absolutely it is. Yeah. So, which sort of goes to the discount vouchers as well. Depending on where the store is, what demographic you've got as well, you can really customize the software depending on, all those factors. So another thing as well is the events. And with the events, we use it for worming tablets to remind customers when their, dog worming is due. And also for pet birthdays as well. So more than
birthdays. What would I do with pet birthdays?
Oh, well, pet birthdays are more important than human birthdays these days. So, I know in my family that my dog gets a lot more money spent on him than I do. So,
you've got to have nobody
which is fine. Video. It's fine. Well, most of the money is spent by me as well, so I can't really. But happy to go through a few things and show you.
Let's jump into the software and have a look at what you're talking about.
Yep.
And just while you're setting that up, I would just kind of share some headline information. The software is Australian designed, Australian developed, Australian supported. And so from that point of view, it's very tuned to local business needs. So what we've got here, Justin, is the screen that people see when they go into the software.
Yeah, correct. And this is customizable as well. So you might look at the screen and not think you're going to use all this functionality. So you can customize it depending on either what terminal it is. So, at the counter, you might just want your staff to be able to access the point of sale and maybe the customer screen. You can just have those two tiles there. And then for your back office, you can have all your, your favorite reporting, where you do your stock received, you set up your promotions and so forth. So I'll jump into the point of sale, and I mentioned 3 things off the top of the video, which I'll go into more depth, and I'll mention a few other things as well. But the first thing was the stock notes. And I've got an example here. When I sell a particular fish, you'll see a receipt pop up. And here, I'll just expand that a bit. you'll see here that underneath that particular fish is basically care instructions or information on, you know, the best climate to have that fish survive, the best food to feed it, the best temperature and so forth. So it's just that point of difference in, again, I didn't have to do anything to that. It's all set up in the back end. So, you know, I might be a junior, I might be a staff member that's been within the business for a week. Owners love it because they can pass on their product knowledge without physically being in the store. So they can put in all this data in prior, and then all the staff member has to do is sell that particular item, and it's going to print that information on here. So as I said, multiple ways to use it. Here I can have, you know, that this item is locally sourced or locally made. I can even use it to cross-promote, you know, other items in the store. So, you know, items might work well with specific items, which I might want to, you know, pass that on to the customer. So a couple of ways to do that as well. Another thing I touched on is the buy 10 dog food bags and get one free. So you'll see here I bring up a Royal Canine dog food bag. I click on my customer list. And you'll see here, I got a little message pop up down the bottom that I've only got 3 more of these to go before I can redeem my 11th bag. Now, the cool thing about this is it will obviously prompt the salesperson at that point of sale. And then it'll also print a little message on their receipt at the bottom as well. So again, I'll show you an example. And down here, it's telling me that I've only got 3 more to go. Didn't have to ask for any cardboard card, plastic card, didn't have to stamp, didn't have to do anything. It's all automated on their receipt. And the system will obviously discount it depending on whether you give it free or whether you give it a, you know, 50% off and so forth.
So given that I'm able to do that, I'm able to show the customer how close they can get to getting their free bag.
Yeah.
Can I report on this back to a supplier? Can I see myself what I'm giving away here?
Yeah, you can. Yeah. So the report's easily accessible, and you know exactly what you said. You can see exactly what you've given out, so you can get reimbursed from the supplier or whatever agreement you've got.
Yeah,
with them.
that's why I was asking the question. That's good.
Yeah. And the third thing is marketing, but more generally, I guess, events marketing. So based on previous purchases or reoccurring purchases. So as I said before, it works with pet birthdays, and it also works with your vet lines as well. So when your pet needs to be wormed, generally, you know, speaking dog, their worming is, you know, every 3 months. So you can let the system run a report and it'll actually tell you who's coming up for their worming. I'll click on the customer here and now you'll see here you can actually have different identities as well. So Marley is a cat and Fido is a dog. So I've got my both pet birthdays in there, and it's telling me when, you know, their worming is due, and so forth. So easy way to get in touch with customers. The cool thing is, you know, they might know that, you know, their worming is due, but as soon as you get in front of them, either with a text message or an email, that might be their prompt to come into you instead of a big box store down the road.
So you're saying from within this software, I can trigger the sending of a text or the sending of an email to a customer based on all of this data that you're showing me? You
can, yeah, absolutely, yeah. And as I said, it's the customer knows, or the customer generally knows that, you know, their worming is due. Yep. But with this, you can offer further discounts. So it might be a 5% discount, you know, with a text message or email. And as I said, as soon as you get in front of the customer, I guess it's that permission for the customer to then come back to you instead of someone else.
Excellent. Excellent. So what else separates the software? What makes it Pet Shop software specific?
Well, Pet Shop software. So they're the 3 main things. Just while we're on marketing, there's another good way. So marketing is marketing. Obviously, you can market out based on, you know, products people have purchased, you know, dog birthdays, when their last purchase was. But pet stores use this tool, and obviously not all the time. It doesn't happen all the time, but I know occasionally the supplier, especially in the dog food space, they might have a recall on an item because it might be poisonous and so forth. So you can use this tool to quickly go in, either select the supplier that the customer, that the supplier is called a recall on, or you can actually get that specific product as well. So instead of annoying everyone in your list, you can really target that list based on when they last purchased it. So, sorry, the date range. So the supplier might come out and say, hey, this batch between this date and this date is faulty. Come in and get a refund on that product. You can quickly and easily go in and see that list of people who bought that specific product or purchased from that particular supplier in that date range.
Excellent.
That's another way. Look, in the pet space as well, EDI is a massive thing, so electronic invoicing. So we link with pretty much most of the main suppliers in the pet space, so Kongs, Master Pets, Western Pets, Pet Specific, and a few other ones as well. So basically that just allows you, when you're creating purchase orders, sending it off to the supplier. When you're arriving that order, it's essentially all done electronically. So most of the data is already there. You're not sitting there typing in cost prices, how many you arrived, descriptions, departments, and so forth. All the data is there. So massive time saver in actually arriving your orders into the software.
And if I'm selling online, if I want to create a website to sell online, I can take the data from within the point of sale and have that go across to the website?
Absolutely, yeah. So stock images flow across, descriptions, web descriptions. You can have web store pricing, so you can differentiate that between your in-store pricing if you did want to. Yep. Quantity on hands can go over as well. So again, having an e-commerce site, it essentially takes out all the management side of constantly updating your website with what's sold, when prices go up or down. Most of that thing is done through the point of sale. And your website just goes off the back of that, which is another, time saver.
And so I've got the supplier connection with invoices. I've got the website connection with Shopify or Magento that you're talking about through the software.
Yep.
What if I'm doing my accounting, for example, through Xero?
Yep.
I can connect to Xero through the software?
Absolutely. Yep. So we connect to Xero. For other accounting packages, we use a third party for that, but Xero, we've got the direct integration with that works seamlessly. We've had that integration for, you'd probably answer this best, but the last however many years, don't know. So we love Xero. We've recently switched to Xero as a company as well. So all that information gets transferred across.
Okay. And so from a pet shop perspective, if they're using the software, can you give me an idea of what the software costs? What sort of pricing are you talking about?
Yeah, so it's about $145 a month. So there's a small onboarding fee, and that basically covers the installation and training. We'll convert your data across in that price as well. But yeah, for $145 a month, that's absolutely everything. So a full suite of pet-specific software, so everything that I've demonstrated and more. And you also get 24/7 help desk access, unlimited one-on-one remote training, all the software enhancements in that as well. So we come up with about 3 or 4 major updates a year.
So let's say I'm talking about a reasonable sized pet shop and I have 2 registers, I have another terminal at the back of the shop, and then I have a terminal in the office at the business. So that's 4 computers. So Is that $145 per computer?
Yeah, it is. Yeah. We don't care if you have 1 computer or 20 computers.
I said, is that $145 per computer?
Oh, no, sorry. It's, no, that's unlimited licenses.
Right.
So as I said, we don't care if you have 1 computer or 10 computers. It's just that flat fee.
So I knew what I was asking you. So it's $145 for the whole business for as many computers as you want.
Yep.
And that gives me the full pet software. Can you just take us, I don't want to go through all the reports, but just give us a sense of the reports that you've got in the software.
So look, as far as reporting goes, as I said, we'll tell you what's selling, we'll tell you what's not selling. Ranked sales report's a really good one, and it actually works well in reverse. So by that I mean we'll actually tell you, what your top 10 selling items are. We'll also tell you what your lowest ranking items are, so you can choose to either quit it, or discount it and move on from that as well. So a couple of reports that do that. We've got our, fast sellers as well. So not only does it report on your fast selling stock items, but a report on your dead stock as well. And then we've got all the comparison reports, the stock reports, customer reports. So we'll tell, who your best customers are, as well as your staff reports as well. So if you're doing commission-based, wages and so forth, we'll give you that data.
Okay. And typically, how long would it take to set up the software in a pet shop?
Look, probably you'll be up and going within the day. So obviously, depending on how much hardware and everything's involved. But 99% of our sales these days are conversions from other software providers.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll convert your data prior to doing the installation. We'll use that first day to train you on the absolute basics, get you up and going. And then, with the rental price, you've got unlimited, as I said before. You can book in as many training sessions as you want. So there's really no rush into getting the most out of the software. We want you to get the most out of the software. But there's a lot of features in here that you will love, and you're not going to learn them all on the first day. But as long as you know how to transact sales and do the absolute basics, then you've got unlimited time after that to get the most out of it.
And given that the software is developed here, I know that we're releasing updates, roughly every 2 months.
Yep.
And so these are seeing the software continue to evolve. I also know that we, through you guys, through the sales team, but also through our support team, we actively talk to pet shop owners about things they'd like to see in the software, new facilities they'd like to see in the software. And so we're evolving it not only in terms of broadly what we do, but also in a way that's specific to what pet shops are looking for too.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And that's how we've, come to all these pet specific functionality over the years. About 80% of our development is based on user feedback. So that's across multiple, different vertical markets. And the good thing is, because we deal with so many industries, garden centres might have a suggestion that we should do, and pet stores might think they don't care about that, but in reality, it might actually help their business as well. An example of that is actually the discount vouchers that we did. So it's a form of customer loyalty. And the way it works in different industries is usually, I'll go back a step. The good thing about these is they're fully customizable depending on, how much money the customer spends with you and setting expiry dates and so forth. So if I show you an example here, usually, we generally tell, depending on what industry they're in. So this expiry date usually is, we find out what their most popular popular item that they sell in store is. And with a pet store, it's usually, pet food, so dog or cat food. And generally, they're going to purchase that pet food, say, every month, give or take. So we usually like to set the expiry date around that time and use these vouchers to target that next purchase. So, in this case, I'm giving the customer $1.41 to spend. That expires in a month's time. In a month's time, I'm about to run out of my food. If you're giving me $1.41 to spend, as opposed to another pet store down the road that's giving me nothing, I'm going to make that trip to you and purchase my next dog food bag from you guys.
Now, while you have this on the screen, though,
Yep.
You are giving me $1.41. I might be a tight ass and say, well, geez, $1.41 is not much. But
and you say it's $1.41 more than what the other pet store is giving you.
And also the pet store down the road might be giving me points. And I don't know what points are worth, because points are worth different things in different businesses.
Exactly.
The other thing is, it says here Tower Store VIP, but a pet shop can call that whatever they want, can't they?
Yeah, absolutely. So we've got customers calling it bonus bucks. You can use the words discount vouchers. Depending on the store name, you can call it store name VIP Club. Absolutely customized by you. So as I said, you drill down into the departments and categories, so you can set different contributions if you want. So if you make more in this department compared to this department, you can change those contributions accordingly. And as I said, you can format the receipt to say whatever you want as well. So you'll notice another little thing on this receipt is W rewards and join our Tower Store VIP Club today. Right. So you'll notice that I didn't actually sell that particular sale to any customer. But a good way of getting customer data, because, no one really wants to be handing out, mobile numbers and email addresses these days. A good way of getting that data is you can hand over these vouchers and say, hey, if you want to sign up, you'll get bigger rewards next time. And 9 times out of 10, they'll hand over the data. And not only that, you've got the data there. So, if I'm purchasing a particular dog food bag today, in a month's time, I send my wife in. They don't even have to know which one I purchased. You can quickly and easily just go in, look up the transaction history and resell that to them.
Now, isn't it fair to say too that with, for example, this discount voucher that you've got on the screen, that in itself is something that differentiates me from the big pet stores?
Yeah, it is, yeah.
Because they'll tend to run a points-based program where they can control and manipulate how value is perceived, whereas here, where it's a dollar amount, they're less likely to do that.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. And as I said, you can have, you don't have to have every stock item in the store that you can redeem. Basically, if you do a service like a dog wash service or something like that, a lot of our pet stores are really smart about it, and they can basically just have the vouchers redeemable for those services, because, in the services, that's where they make their money. So someone can come in and purchase anything in the store, but only use the voucher on, something that they make a lot of money out of, or a service or something like that. So you can sort of be smart about it. Otherwise, you can have it redeemable on pretty any much product as well.
Okay. All right. If you stop sharing your screen now,
Yep.
So just kind of wrapping up in terms of pet shops, if you think about the sort of pet shops that you've dealt with, the pet shop owners you've dealt with, is there anything else you can think of that when they're looking at the software, they say, hey, this thing over here is what really is important to me?
Yeah, look, there's a few things. So manufactured goods is another one. So things like puppy starter packs or aquarium starter packs, you can basically create packs and sell it as a bundle.
We call it manufactured goods.
Yeah.
But the reality is it's taking this and this and this and put them together and sell them as one.
Exactly, yeah, and there's a few benefits to that. Not only does it track, individual stock information when you're selling it as a pack, it also allows you the ability to potentially get rid of slow-moving stock, so you can group a bunch of that stock together. And it also helps you increase basket size as well. So if I come in and I might need a bed for my new puppy, that might be the only purchase. But if you've got a pack over here that's got a bowl, a bed, a collar, a lead, I'm more inclined to probably purchase that, and therefore I've sold 4 items compared to the one.
Yep.
And look, another thing as well is receipt coupons. So I touched on, the dog washing service, but basically you can have the coupons and manipulate when those are printed as well. So, if it is a dog washing service, if someone purchases, cat food, I don't want that printing on the receipt because it's completely useless. If they come in and purchase, dog food or something in the dog department, I want that voucher printing so they're aware of my dog wash service that I've got.
Okay. Is there anything else that you would say to a pet shop owner or manager looking around for software, and let's say they happen to see this video, but they're not likely to call and talk? Is there anything else that you would say to them? Hey, think about this or think about that.
Look, I'd just say, reach out and as I said, I've probably touched on, 3 of the benefits and actually shown you 3 of the benefits and, spoke about 10 or 20 more. So, reach out. There's so much more within the software to see.
So if someone wants to see the software, you're happy to do a one-on-one demo with them privately,
absolutely.
Away from...
Absolutely. Whether it's in hours, after hours, happy to sit down and go through, absolutely every feature, because there's so many providers out there that say they're industry specific, but until you actually sit down and go through the actual features, you'll realize that there's a lot more for the pet industry, going with us than someone else.
Okay. Look, thank you very much. Hopefully it gets people thinking about what they could do within their businesses, and considering the pet shop software. I would summarize, Australian developed, Australian supported, guys like you who can actually talk one-on-one to pet store owners as well.
Yeah.
And I think all of that demonstrates a local connection with the software, which is important.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
Cool. No worries.